Greetings and welcome back to the Casual Wargamer. You join me on a rather warm summer's evening. I've got my hot chocolate to do my latest video, and I haven't posted for a little while. Some of that has been kind of real life as always, but there's another situation. Fun is subjective. That's the problem, especially in our hobby. What I find the concept of a fun game might be very different to yours. It might be very different to the person across the table from us, which again might be different from the person playing at the local Games Workshop store, to the local club, to the local GT, whatever. We all have different views of fun, and they don't always mesh. And I've got to be honest, as much as I've had a lot of fun with Warhammer 40k this year, 2025 has kind of been the year, the last few months anyway, where I've not had that fun. Not as much anyway. And a lot of it is coming down to two things, basically. One, I got to be honest, you know me, I'm the casual wargamer. We are at a point where I'm finding that 10th edition is becoming far too competitive. People are playing it far too competitively. And this isn't a case of get good scrub, as I've said in other videos. This is a genuine case of I'm not enjoying the way people play. I've had a few games in the last few months where my opponent really gamed the system, and at least in one of those instances, somewhere out in the multiverse, there is a reality where I probably flipped a table, said some things I would probably regret later, and walked out. Thankfully, this version of me didn't do it, but it really piddled me off. They were already winning. They didn't need to do anything like that, and it kind of spoilt the day for me. And then there's instances I've had recently where rules have come up, and in one particular game, my opponent did something which you couldn't do under 9th edition, but the wording has changed and nothing stops you doing it under 10th. He was able to charge one unit, pile into another while he was doing it, and he killed 2 units. He took down a unit of heavy intercessors and a redemptive dreadnought in one combat. He hadn't charged the dreadnought. And I'm like, you can't do this. And my opponent's like, you can. Someone had done it to him in a tournament. Basically we looked it up, got our local rules guru to go through it, and yeah, you couldn't do it under 9th, you can under 10th. It wasn't a big deal, but actually it spoiled a game for me. Not because I'd lost 2 units, but simply the fact that I can't keep up with all this rules nonsense. I can't keep up with playing against people who are being competitive. There are plenty of people I play against who I would say are competitive players, but they are really good fun to play against. I have good games. And a shout out to Mr. Phil, Mr. Gary. You guys are safe. Always have good games against you guys. But there are people who I play on a semi-regular basis where I am getting a bit fed up. And I was talking to a couple of other friends of mine, both of whom I would class as competitive players, not GT level players, but certainly competitive. In one case, he felt that, he couldn't keep up with it now, between real life commitments, he just couldn't keep up with all the changes, all this, and people are becoming far too, again, the same way, far too competitive. He wasn't enjoying games. The other person, again, competitive, but always have fun games with him. He basically said that there was an element of that, but also, again, like I mentioned, trying to keep up with all the rules. Too many updates, too many changes, too many this, that, and the other. And neither of them have enjoyed games as much recently. And I thought, well, why don't I take another look at one-page rules? I did a video about it probably just over a year ago, and I have to admit I'm being pushed back towards that. I was looking over the channels I subscribe to, and one of them, Good Enough Gaming. Check him out if you're into OPR. Fully recommend. And he made me think maybe playing one-page rules is more where I'm coming from. I had said originally when I did my initial review, I've played OPR on and off very loosely for the last couple of years, but not since August, September, almost a year ago, last year. But my concern with it was it's fun, it's a good laugh, but it's missing the meat on the bones that Warhammer has. When actually, it's come to me recently that that's utter nonsense. Yes, the rules are a lot more simplified. The basic rules of the game come down to a single A4 document, and it plays perfectly fine with that. I went out and paid like £3 or £4 for the advanced rules, and the advanced rules give you basically 18 deployments, basic, advanced, and asymmetric, 18 missions, and a load of optional stuff that you can choose if you want to include in your games. Extra activations, how to handle terrain, how to do this, that, and the other. But basically, the whole point of it is you just, at the beginning of the setup, you go, how shall we handle this? Bish, bash, bosh. Simples. And since then, I've decided I want to play a lot more one-page rules. Grimdark Future. I've got my Marines. All of your armies convert over. So, and what, the 2K game would take 40K, probably 3 hours, including setup, is about an hour. Absolutely love it. For getting one game in of an evening, I could get 2 or 3. And so I've decided I'm going to try and drum up some interest in the game in our local game store, Games Hub. I'm going to try and get people to come and give it a try. And even if we can get enough people, maybe even get like a little league going, or even do a tournament day if I can convince enough bods. To think about it, a tournament day, what we would normally get 3 games in, we could get like everybody plays everybody. Sorted. And I had a game tonight. I've just recently got back from Games Hub just tonight, where I had a game against somebody, a completely new opponent. I've never met them before, never faced them before. I got crushed. Spoiler. But absolutely loved it. And I'm hoping, I've spoken to other friends and whatnot, and I'm hoping that they're going to come and give it a go. As I said at the beginning, though, I'm not going to give up on 40k. That's not going to happen. But I am finding that I need something that doesn't tax the brain, doesn't hurt the synapses when I'm trying to play. That's something. I had a game against Mr. Julian, our store owner, a couple of weeks ago, and that's exactly what he said. This doesn't hurt the brain to play like 40k does. And he really liked it. And when I pointed out that Grimdark Future and Age of Fantasy both use exactly the same rule systems and the same point system, we're going to get a game at some point where he brings his ogres and I'm going to bring my Space Marines, my Battle Brothers or Prime Brothers, and we're going to have a sci-fi versus fantasy off. And it's made me want to build a fantasy army as well for Age of Fantasy. I'm going to, I'm slowly, so far I've only got my Darkoth War Queen, but I'm going to be doing a Havoc Warriors Barbarian army, because you need all this stuff for a 40k game, and this I can buy I think 6 units, and I've got a fully playable 2k army. The battles, not battle boxes, combat patrol boxes are perfect starters. You pay about nearly 100 quid, and that gives you everything you could start to just play a game of one-page rules. So I might actually end up buying a couple of extra of those. My eye is on the new Leagues of Votan one, because again, there's also solo rules for one-page rules. If I can't get out for an evening, or it's all booked up at the shop, whatever, I can set my table up and I can have a solo game. I can test myself out against myself. It's casual, it's fun. So I'm just going to throw this out there. Your thoughts? Is 40k too competitive? Are the rules getting too much? Have you tried one-page rules? If you haven't, why not? Give it a go. The basic rules are free, and you don't need any more than that if you want to just play. The website for one-page rules has all of the army books as PDFs and has one of the best army builders built into the site. You can just make an army as you wish, and it's so simple. And download and print off a PDF of your army with all the necessary keywords and stuff. Everything you need is on that page. So what are your thoughts? I'm going to really push and say, try it. I'm going to try and do it, get a few more games in. I'm still going to play 40k. I'm still going to give you 40k content. I just kind of find that now I need to play something that's a little bit more me for a little while. And we'll see how it goes from there. Anyway, thank you for watching. I know it's not my usual vid, and I kind of waffle a little bit, but you like the waffle. I know you do. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know about your experiences with competitiveness and the rules as they are in 40k, and your experiences with one-page rules. Let me know in the comments down below. Give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and good gaming.